Thank you, everybody. Lovely to be here, and it's just so stimulating, all the conversations and all the connections, all the topics. It's just wonderful. I guess I'm up here to say to everybody that whatever your skills or experience or background is, it can be used in this fight. So you don't have to go outside your comfort zone necessarily. Think about what you can contribute and do that. It's all needed and it's all useful. My background, as Millie said, is with lesbian activism, and that's where my focus is at the moment in this fight for lesbians. My skills are in organising, so that's what I'm doing, is organising. It is so easy to get distracted because, as many women have already said, there are issues here, there and everywhere, and they are all important. If we know what our focus is and know that others are dealing with all those other things, we can be more effective, I think. So, with the organising, and you don't have to do anything really extraordinary for it to then become extraordinary. As Jean was saying, the Lesbian Action Group was just a bunch of us, just sat down at a coffee, at a cafe, and said, enough of this being underground and silenced and intimidated. Enough of this talking. We've been talking for 30 years about the insanity. Now it's time to actually do something. And we just came up with... okay. Well, Jean and I had been involved with getting the first exemption in 2003, and so we thought, okay, let's do that again. We'll go for another exemption. And it was off the cuff, and isn't this a bit of fun? And why don't we do it and see where we are today? Today, just less than a year later, probably, what are we talking about, 8 months, 9 months later, we have an appeal against the Australian Human Rights Commission. And that appeal may or may not win. But what we've done in the meantime is raise awareness and gathered women behind us and men behind us. So a little chat over a coffee, as Jill was saying about her political party, or their political party. It just chat, that sounds like a good idea, and you never know where it's going to lead to. So with LAG, after the denial from the AHRC, it became obvious to us that that little chat over coffee and the little informal group was taking on something bigger. So we decided that we would become incorporated, because that ensures our safety to some extent. There's limited liability. So we are now an incorporated body, and again, we did that in just such a short time because it's urgent. And so we now have a much clearer focus of what LAG is about. LAG is our political arm of what we're doing. It gave us structure from Jess's talk, and it gave us our focus. So we are now a closed group, a working group. We are an actively working group. We're closed, but we have invitations open for anyone who can come and help us, who has specific skills and experience, and they are willing to be active using those skills and experience. So that's our framework now. Some of the things that we're doing, and we decided to organise ourselves into teams. So we have a few teams. There's the appeals team that is working with our wonderful Megan and the legal team that we have, all pro bono. It's Anna Kerr and Lee Howard in Victoria. He just offered to do it pro bono. Well, he said, yes, let's go for it. So we're doing that appeal. Next Thursday, I think that's the 13th, is the first communication with the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, where they set the dates and all the things surrounded it. Lee thinks that we won't have a hearing until September, August, September, but that will be set at this hearing next week. So it's going to be a long battle, but that's all right. Gives us time to plan and plot and get the publicity out there. Another team that we have is, as Jean has talked about, the lesbian visibility and the ongoing communication with the Victorian Pride Centre and getting lesbian visibility there. We have another team working as an outreach team to young lesbians, and we have 2 of those young lesbians here today, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you have any young lesbians in your realm, send them to us. They're going to be a powerhouse. They are going to be the ones who are going to make some changes. But not only that, they need the support. They need the support of each other, because it's so hard out there for young lesbians to find any sense of community. So if you know any of them, send them along. We've got a small but very supportive group going. We have our admin team, got to do that. We have a small lobbying team that's just feeling our way, what do we want to do, how, and we have a website team our website is just about ready to be launched. And Kaylee's helping with that. Thanks, Kaylee. Yes, so if anyone on LAG, if anyone has if you're a lesbian and you have particular experience and expertise and skills and you want to be active, get in touch and we'll see whether you can fit into our group or not.
And what can non-lesbians do to support lesbians? Because lesbian rights is a feminist issue.
I can assure you that we have lots of support from non-lesbians. It's been absolutely evident from all the way through the Human Rights Commission application process. The letters of support that came in were just phenomenal, and they were not just from lesbians. It was amazing. It was heartwarming. So out of that, with the LAG as the political arm, it was obvious we needed a social arm, because one of the issues for lesbians... I've got too much more to say. One of the issues for lesbians is our spaces have just been decimated. There are none. And so we have set up the Lesbian Club, TLC, because every lesbian needs TLC. And TLC is another incorporated body now, and that came out of the Human Rights Commission denial of our exemption, because they said if only we'd been a membership-based club, then we would have a permanent exemption. So we thought, okay, we'll become a membership-based club. And so that's what we are, and there's application forms at the back there. Anyone who wants to join, any lesbian who wants to join the Lesbian Club, please do so. We're based in Victoria, obviously. Much of our stuff will be in Victoria, but we're hoping this is going to spread to every state in Australia, and we'll have lesbian clubs all over Australia because with that we can actually publicise our events for members only, and members only are vetted quite strictly to be born female and agree that men cannot be lesbians. So that's what we've set up there. Another initiative is something I'm calling, for want of, brainwave, Wise Women Australia. We had a Zoom a week or so ago, and at that Zoom I had put out a call to any TERF who wanted to come along to a Zoom to talk about their groups or see what everybody in Australia is doing, because I think we've paid too much attention to what's happening overseas, to UK and USA. It is time to start building up our profile of what's happening in Australia, because it's completely different. We have different system of government, different geography, different everything. So it's time we started doing that. So this Zoom the other week was about starting to get a conversation going about what's happening in Australia. And there were 50 women there at the Zoom, and they represented 17 groups. We have a lot of grassroots groups in Australia, and it's wonderful because that's our strength. But if we don't come together in some way and, as Vivian was saying, collaborate on certain things where it's appropriate, then we're not using that to the best that we can. So, it was wonderful to hear from everybody. We shared information. We started to foster a sense of solidarity. It's not going to be a structured, organised organisation. It's not saying every group has to belong to this and there's some sort of structure. It's a loose network. It's a network enabling us to collaborate when we need to and to know where we can collaborate. And I know there's divisions, and I know there's infighting, and I know there's personalities, and I've been told I'm naive. Perhaps I am, but that allows me to be a bit positive as well. So, if we can come together just to share some stuff and let each other know what we're doing. There's already some very positive outcomes from that meeting. We have one woman from the Turban Network in Victoria who has offered to set up what she's calling a portal, which will be a depository for whatever anyone wants to put into that. So it's a one-stop shop for finding out things like what are the legal cases that we've had in Australia? What are the prison stats for in Australia? What are the submissions that Australian women have put in to Australian governments? Maybe some overseas stuff as well, but mainly Australian. What are the links and contacts? If I want to know about women in prison, where do I go? If I want to know about what's happening in schools, where do I go? If we have one central place, doesn't mean you can't have all the other ones as well, because as someone has pointed out to me, if they hack that one, well, they've taken us down, but they haven't, because Kerry says, well, I'll have a backup, so, it doesn't matter. So that's one thing that's come out of it. We now have an email list of all those 50 groups and individuals. If you want to be part of that group and want to be on the email list, I've put a sheet out over there. Just put your name and email on it. There's a mapping. Another woman from that group took on the project of actually mapping who's doing what areas are being covered, by whom, and what are we missing. So that's going to be absolutely invaluable. The funding issue that Megan raised, it's a big project, but maybe we can do it for a fighting fund. In the Turban Network, we have a fighting fund. It's small, put in for a grant and got one and some donations, but it's what funded Megan to go to the AusPath conference. So little bits of money can help. And anyone who is interested, the next Zoom session will be on April 23rd, 7:30 p.m. If you put your name down on there, if you're not already on the email list, then you'll get a link to the Zoom. Thank you.